Morning, 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 everybody. It's your boy Bigg, and I'm back, South Carolina style. Hey, it's Big Lloyd Dotson, and I'm back for my first Facebook Live video in 2 weeks. You know, it's been kind of crazy with the move down for the family all the way from the Northeast New England area down to South Carolina. But the move is done. Boxes are still everywhere. I don't think that's going to get taken care of for a while, but I'm so glad you could join me on this first live back from your boy Bigg. And make sure you shout me out. Let me know you're dialing in. Let me know where you're dialing in from, because today I've got a fantastic topic. I am fired up on this Monday, and you should be as well to get kicked off. Good morning, Denny. Glad you could join me. So happy to have you. Morning, Mimi. Glad you could join me. It is Monday, and I am extremely motivated. Good morning, Anthony, brother. Glad you could join me from California. So happy to have all of you join me back. So happy. Essex, England in the house, Denny. Absolutely fantastic. So, like I said, so much still to do, but I am motivated to get it done. And what I wanted to do was talk to you this morning about motivation. You know, what's amazing is I talked to a number of people, especially when I was taking this time off. I still got messages. I couldn't reply to everyone, and I'm getting back to all of those people. Doug, so glad you could join me, brother. Glad to see you again. Brenda, glad you could see me. Thanks for joining me this morning. And like I said, got a number of messages from people saying that, you know, they just weren't that motivated, you know, while I was out, you know, and that something was missing and all of this good stuff. And I thank you very much for that, you know, that I'm part of a catalyst to help you be better than you are. But the truth is, you know, motivation really is more internal than it is external. And like I said, good morning, Catherine. Glad you could join me from London. On the topic of the live here, the topic is motivation. And the truth is, we have one life, just one. So why aren't we all running like we're on fire towards our wildest dreams? Why can we not light that pilot light for ourselves in order to get shit done? And the truth is, we can. But it really comes down to how we focus, right? How we focus on lighting that pilot light. Good morning, Tina. Glad you could join me. So, like I said, the bottom line is most people talk about the fact that they're not motivated, or they can't find motivation, or they can't find success because of their circumstances. Screw circumstances. Absolutely screw circumstances. You know, Bruce Lee said, to hell with circumstances. I create opportunities. I create opportunities. You see, that word I, all right, is something that most people are afraid of because they don't want to take on the responsibility of doing the shit they need to do in order to make shit happen. And so they roll with the punches, as they say. You know, my circumstances don't allow me. Okay, you're in a better situation. You have more connections. You live in a better area. Your country allows this. Blah, blah, blah. As my man Bruce Lee said, to hell with circumstances. All right? Create opportunities. And how do you go about doing that? Well, the biggest part of that is self-motivation. Self-motivation. And you've got to learn how to friggin' motivate yourself each and every morning when you get up. All right? The motivation comes from within. No one can hand it to you. So I'm glad that people are saying, Bigg, I missed your morning motivational, your musings and all of that. But listen, it's not about me, it's about you. Motivation is from within. No one can hand it to you, but no one can take it away from you either. Once you learn how to light that pilot light for yourself, no one has the ability to take that away from you. And that's the beautiful thing. That's the beautiful thing. So what is motivation? What is motivation? And I think George Bernard Shaw answered it best, and I wrote it down. And he said, the people who get on in this world are the people who get up and look for the circumstances they want. And if they can't find them, make them. If they can't find them, make them. And as my man Bruce Lee said, to hell with circumstances. To hell with circumstances. Create opportunities. And so each morning when you get up, all right? Each morning when you get up, like I said, that motivation has to be internal. Yes, it's wonderful, right? All right? So how many of you get up in the morning? Do me a favor, in the comments, let me know. How many of you in the morning get up and talk to yourself? And talk to yourself and fire yourself up. Go ahead. If you're not one of those people, go ahead and say, I need to do more of it, or I'm not doing it. The first answer, okay, to getting past this and helping motivate yourself is to go ahead and admit that you're not doing it. There is nothing wrong with talking to yourself. All right? That's how these, all right, Facebook Lives started out for me, because I would get up every single morning, Monday through Friday, to get to the gym, and I would fire myself up like I'm doing right now with myself. Come on, come on. All right? And I decided to start to share that with others, to maybe help light that pile of light. When it comes down to it, though, I can't reach out, right, with that little match and do it for you. You've got to take and strike that match and light that heart, light that passion. And each morning there's nothing wrong. They say crazy people talk to themselves. All right? But they also say, those people, why do you see so many athletes, right? In the middle of a contest, in the middle of a match, in the middle of a competition, talking to themselves, firing themselves up. Because they know, right, that they've got to answer to themselves, and they're not afraid to answer. They're not afraid to challenge themselves. So what are you afraid of? You're no different than Usain Bolt. You're no different than Tom Brady. You're no different than any of those elite athletes. But there is one difference. You've got to get up every friggin' morning and tell yourself, I can do this. Because without those words, you're just going to go through the motions. You're just going to roll with the punches, as they say. Your only limit is you. Your only limit is you. So get up each morning. Every morning. Put those feet on the ground. And smack yourself verbally and say, I got this. I can do this. And then do it. You see, one of the most amazing creative people out there, visionaries, if you will, was Walt Disney. I'm so happy that my son looks up to this man and everything he was able to do. It's one of his idols. He is fascinated on where he came from and how he was able to achieve what he achieved in the short time that he was on this earth. Walt Disney. You have someone that had a vision and a dream that was bigger than himself, and he put in the work to get it done. His story is absolutely fascinating. Love him, hate him, whatever it may be, when it comes down to it, what was in that man's mind became physical reality. So if that is motivation for you to help you, then absolutely. That's why we look up to people. That's why we have mentors. That's why we have coaches. That's why we're inspired by people that do things. But why are they any freaking different than you? Because they believe in themselves. Because they believe that if they envision something happening, they're going to put the work in to get it done and make it happen. All of us love to talk about the universe giving us what we ask for. But you've got to help the universe along by actually doing the work that needs to be done in order for that to come to fruition. And that all starts inside, right? That all starts within. You can be sparked by external motivation. You can be sparked by books and videos and stories. But ultimately, what makes the difference between someone that's sparked by that and goes, oh, that's nice, and then goes back into their regular routine of doing nothing. And someone that's sparked by that, by those books and videos and stories and Facebook Lives and all of those things, and actually takes that shit, internalizes it, and gets shit done. What makes the difference? Is it DNA? Is it circumstance? Absolutely not. According to George Bernard Shaw, according to Bruce Lee, screw circumstances. It's a personal friggin' choice is what it is. But so many people are going to say, Big, but here you go again, all right? Trying to motivate me to do things and all of that great stuff. And, you know, and that's great, but I've got it pretty good already. Listen, that's great. That's great. If you're happy where you are, all right, then don't listen to me. Because the one thing I always tell you, and you all know this, is all I want to do each morning when I wake up, put my size 13.5s on the ground, is say to myself, Big, how can you be better today? Big, who are you going to help today? Big, how can you help that person be better? And if I can accomplish those three things, then I'm better off for it. But that may not be you. You see, you have to be thankful for what you are now. But I believe you got to keep fighting for what you want to be tomorrow. And too many people out there aren't fighting for how great they can be tomorrow. I tell you all the time, you all have amazing gifts, talents, and abilities, and you need to share them with the world. But in order to do that, guess what? You've got work to do. You've got work to do. And most people are afraid of work, especially when it's working on themselves. Because they have to answer to themselves for that failure, for not getting it done. And it's easier, guess what, just to go through the motions, just to roll with the punches and blame it on circumstances. You see, your mind is a powerful, powerful thing. And when you start to fill it with positive thoughts each and every morning, when you reaffirm to yourself, I can do this, an amazing thing happens. It really does. Your life will start to change despite your circumstances, despite your excuses, despite your rolling with the punches. So if it takes some motivation from someone like me yelling at you, putting a foot up your ass each and every morning, Monday through Friday, in order to hand you that match, to make you work on striking it and lighting that passion inside your heart, because that's where it begins. And we work on your mindset, that motivation to make you understand, all right, that you need to stop being afraid of what could go wrong and think of what could go right. There's that amazing quote, and I've said it before. We've all been given wings. We've all been given wings. We were born with them. But what good are wings if you're afraid to fly? And what's it going to take for you to step off that cliff and learn to soar? What's it going to take? It's going to take internal motivation. It's going to take you understanding that the only limit is you, and that you have to get up each morning and tell yourself, I can do this. If you really care about yourself, you will work on the mindset of being better today than you were yesterday, and being better tomorrow than you were today. And I'm not saying it has to be perfect. I'm just saying it has to be progress. Because the day you stop growing and learning and being better is the day you might as well no longer be here. Like I said in the beginning, one life. Why aren't you running like you're on fire towards your most wildest dreams? Think big. Act bigger. Believe that you can, and you're halfway there, said Teddy Roosevelt. Believe that you can, and you're halfway there. Mindset is a powerful thing, but mindset is only half of the work. The other work is the physically doing the things that need to be done in order to take that vision, that dream, that mindset, and make them physical, make them real, make them attainable goals that get done. But it all starts with you. It all starts with that big word, motivation. It all starts with the fact that you have to ask yourself, and I'm going to ask all of you, and I want you to be honest with me and put into the comments. You have to be real with yourself about the fact that you aren't where you want to be. Are you where you want to be? Yes or no? Put that in the comments. Help me out here. Are you where you want to be, motivation-wise, relationship-wise, financial, security-wise? Are you where you want to be? And the fact that you aren't where you want to be should be motivation enough for you to work on being better every friggin' day. It should be motivation enough. And if it's not, it doesn't matter the number of videos you watch and the books you read and the stories you listen to. Because if the fact that you aren't where you want to be is not enough to kick you in the ass, to get up each morning and tell yourself, I can do this, none of that other shit matters. Because again, it comes from within, and you're the only limit. So when it comes down to it, I'm going to end today's Facebook Live with a challenge and let you know it doesn't happen overnight. Just because I woke up on a Monday morning and you haven't seen me in a couple of weeks and I'm all up in your grill and telling you how it should, coulda, woulda been and how it should, coulda, woulda be, doesn't mean it's going to happen. And even if it does start to happen and you light that pilot light and you start to move forward and get things done, guess what? It's going to be hard. It's going to be hard to change. Change doesn't happen overnight. But I'm telling you right now, all right? Stop being afraid of what could go wrong when you make this new change and start thinking about the things that could go right. When you fill your mind with positive thoughts, guess what? Your life starts to change. But it never gets easier. Oh, Big, if I do all these things, so basically you're saying that, friggin' unicorns and rainbows are going to suddenly appear in my life. I'm going to be able to wear a tutu and dance through life. No. But what you're doing is giving yourself permission to be better. So it never gets easier. There's always going to be things coming at you. Always. But the thing is, when you start doing this, all right, you get better. You get better. It never gets easier. You just get better. And that's a beautiful thing. So on that note, I appreciate all of you joining me on this Bigg's Morning Motor Vehicle Musings. I'm about to get in there and get better. And I hope all of you do the same thing. Peace. Love you all. Catch you tomorrow.